Well, hey, hi. My interwebs, I'm a little taken aback that it's working again. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Strength and Stretching and Strengthening. I'm here just to keep my agreement with myself, as usual. I got you aimed at the floor here because, as I mentioned, my internet has been a spotty as I'm sharing it with a lot of other peoples. Let's, as usual, I just invite you to join me to whatever degree feels good in your body. I'm going to do a little stretching, a little strengthening, try to get this thing in line. I don't know if we can. Can we? I think we can. Let's do some seated stretching and strengthening since, oh look, I've got a new table aspect here that I see is in the camera. I'm just going to take a couple breaths and bring my awareness into my sits bones, which are on this nice, lovely pillow that I brought out here for myself. Let's do some breathing and shoulder shrugging, just tensing up, breathing in. And then just releasing that, letting it go. Let's do that again. Tensing up, I like to imagine I'm sticking gold dust onto all my bones and muscles and sinews, and then just blowing that off. Do a little arm swinging, and one more time. Breathing in, tensing up, tensing, and then just shake that off, shake it out. Let go of the tension and the past like it was yesterday. Every day is a good day to let go of yesterday. Oh yeah, it sure is. I'm going to take that pillow away. It's just setting me up too high. Rooting my sits bones into the center of the earth, hanging my spine from the center of the sky. Let's bring arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch in those shoulders. And then do a gentle bending over to the right, pressing down with that left hip. And then bending over to the left, pressing down with that right hip. And then a little more rigorously, again, pressing into that left hip. This time I'm going to slide the right hand over a little to the side. And then sliding this left hand over, pressing that right hip down and bending a little over to the left. Coming back to center, let's shake that out again. And this time I'm going to add a little gentle twisting. Setting left hand in close to the body, right hand on left knee, using that for torque, and just twisting through the pelvis, through the spine, through the neck with the eyes, giving all those organs a nice little hug this morning. And then unwinding all that through the spine, coming back to center, and placing left hand on right knee, right hand in close to the body, and twisting again through the pelvis, through the rib cage, through the shoulders with the eyes. Giving all those organs a nice squeeze, a nice wringing out, a nice hello. Unwinding all of that. Shake all that out. Shake out some hands. Let's do some little circles with the arms while I'm thinking of it, just checking in with these poor bleeding hands and fingers. Thank you for the love. Go the other way, just checking in with all the little bones, letting everybody know we're all in this together. I still care, I still love you. Shaking that out some more. Let's do shoulder shrugs, circles this time. Just keeping it moving instead of this shrugging and tensing, but still breathing in on the way up. And then out the smallest movements are actually the most significant. I will remind you, there's not a direct correlation between size and significance. In this life, in my experience, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you can pay attention to those very subtle, small movements, making them everything you want them to be, and that translates into bigger movements in your life, turning out exactly the way you want them to be. Pro tip from me to you. Let's bring these legs out front, stretching out the knees and the feet, raising the arms again and aiming chin for toes, coming into a forward fold over those legs, just relaxing the back, relaxing the belly. And then I'm going to round the spine, aiming forehead for knees. Pretty stiff this morning, just enjoying that sensation. And then again, straight back, aiming chin for toes. Kind of using my hands here to pull on the legs for a little bit of traction. Those knees a little love while I'm thinking of it. And then again, rounding the spine down, aiming forehead for knees. Just still trying to relax through the belly, relax through the backs of the legs, relax through the spine as I'm rounding it. One more time. Chin aiming for toes, relatively flat back. Here, I turn this way so you can kind of see a different angle. Aiming chin for toes with a relatively flat back. And then rounding the spine, aiming forehead for knees. The round sensation. And then I'm going to reach out past those feet, coming up overhead. Let's add some more twisting over to the left, really focusing on that opposite hip as I'm twisting, trying to root that hip down, and rooting the left hip, twisting to the right. Let's come back to neutral. Let's bring this left leg in, setting that foot in close to the groin, pressing this knee down, and again aiming chin for toes. Nice forward fold over that right leg. Rounding again, forehead for knee. Let's do a couple alternations there. Chin for toes. Pull these toes back if you want to add that stretch, or increase that stretch rather, add to the stretch. And one more time, rounding the spine, forehead for knee. And one more time, straight back, chin for toes. Let's reach out past those toes, coming out overhead, and bringing both legs out front, bouncing those around, and then bringing this right foot in close to the groin, rooting both sits bones, pressing this knee down toward the ground. Just going to shake that out a little bit. And then, again, with a relatively flat back, aiming chin for toes. Folding over that left leg, still pressing this right knee in toward the ground, rooting both sits bones into the center of the earth, giving this knee a little love, and then I'm going to round down over that left side, rounding the spine, aiming forehead for knees, and then alternating again, chin for toes, forehead to knees, and chin to toes, reaching out past those toes, coming out overhead, bringing that out front, bouncing that around, shake out those knees, bend both knees and come up into a squat position. One of my favorite daily activities, both because it's silly and fun and because it's really good for the body. It's good for the legs, good for the arms, good for the pelvis, good for the back. In this squatting position, you can practice pulling up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, pressing those heels down. I'm going to move this blanket because I'm a little uneven, and pressing both heels down. I'm going to press both knees out with elbows, Still pulling up in the pelvic floor, pulling forward with the chest through those knees and shoulders, trying to drop and relax those shoulders. I do some frog hopping from here, but I'll hit you right. I'll frog hop right into the camera if I do. Plus, I'm a little nervous to frog hop on this floor. Not that I don't trust the floor. I built it myself. It's just that I don't want to shake loose my vent covers up ahead. So, anyway, if you want to do some frog hops, I encourage you to. That's a 1 level up in the silliness factor and about 5 levels up, 5 in the challenging factor as far as strengthening and stretching goes, mostly the strengthening. Anyhow, all that said, let's come on to hands and knees. Since we're down here on the floor, I'm going to bring my blanket back under the knees and then come into a tabletop position. Thank you for the smiles. I do appreciate it. So, knees under hips and hands under shoulders. Looking for a straight back sensation coming out the top of the head, out the tailbone. Just feeling through the spine. And then I'm going to round the spine, tucking under the tailbone, tucking the chin, pressing through the shoulders in a what's commonly called a cat stretch. Rounding the spine, tucking the chin, pressing up through those shoulders, through the hands, and then what's commonly called the cow position, letting the belly drop, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, tipping the head toward the back of the tailbone. And we're going to add some breath work to that. You can do breathing in or out or both on either of those, but let's try first breathing in for the cat. Holding, and then exhale and hold, and then breathe in and hold, really rounding, and then exhaling, flexing, hold, and then again. Inhale, tucking the chin, tucking the pelvis, really rounding the spine. And then I'm going to reverse that breath. So I'm going to exhale here. And then inhale into the cow. Tipping the tailbone, tipping the back of the head, holding here. And then exhaling up into cat. Squeezing out all the air. Rounding the spine, holding there, and then inhaling again. Tipping the tailbone, tipping the head, letting the belly sag, lifting the chest, holding here. And then rounding the spine, squeezing out all the air, tucking in the tailbone, tucking the chin, rounding the spine. Let's do one more round of that. Breathing in, holding. Exhaling, squeezing, and coming back to neutral. From here, let's do just a little bit of balancing. Still checking on the alignment. You want knees under hips, hands under shoulders, and then lifting the right arm and left leg. Looking for a nice straight line sensation out the fingertips, out the leg. Try not to counter lean by lifting that hip, but keeping that hip closed. Both hips parallel to the floor as possible. Just feeling for all those lines. And then bringing those back down. Bringing the weight onto the left knee and right arm. And bringing left arm and right leg up for a straight line sensation. Again, try not to open the hips, but keeping the hips closed and face facing the floor. Nice parallel line to the floor. And really feeling for that straight line sensation out through the spine, out the fingertips, out the leg. Let's do that a couple more times. Again, right hand and left leg up, closing the hip, facing the ground. And again, left arm, right leg, keeping the hips facing the ground, lifting through that leg, through that arm, nice and straight through the spine. One more time. Left leg, right arm, keeping that hip down. It would be more helpful if I had the camera turned the other way, but I don't. One more time. Left arm, right leg, keeping that hip facing the ground. For contrast, you could try lifting that hip just to kind of feel what that feels like. Setting that knee down. I'm going to come forward with the knees, sitting back on the feet. Shake that out again, and then I'm going to actually round the spine and come down into what's called child's pose. There's just a rounded spine, relaxed pose here. You can turn the head to one side. Just feeling the rounded spine in a nice relaxed position. Just letting the body sink into the ground, releasing tension, letting go of cares and stress, and try turning the head to both sides. Just kind of notice how that feels, or to the center. You can also play with putting the hands out in front or to the side. Just a nice relaxing pose. I'm going to come back up to hands and knees, sitting here. I think I'm going to do some inverted poses. It's good to see some of you out there. I hope you're remembering to give yourself a little love, give yourself a little playful movement, little exploration, what your body's capable of, and maybe what your body has to say today. I forgot to have my contacts in, so my glasses do me no good. Hey, Paul, it's good to see you out there. Hope you're remembering to take care of you, remembering to play, remembering to smile, remembering to breathe. Happy Tuesday. I'll be seeing ya.